What if one of the biggest phone companies in history actually gets a second chance? For years, Nokia seemed unstoppable. Its phones were everywhere, its brand was trusted, and millions of people believed Nokia would always be a major force in mobile technology. Then smartphones changed everything. Nokia lost its position, its phone business collapsed, and the company that once dominated the world became a shadow of its former self. But Nokia never completely disappeared. And now, it's attempting something that could change how the world sees the brand again. This is Nokia's biggest comeback attempt. To understand the comeback, we first need to understand the collapse. In the early 2000s, Nokia wasn't just a phone company. It was the phone company. The Nokia 3310 became legendary for its durability. Other Nokia devices became famous for their batteries, reliability, and simple software. But then came the smartphone revolution. Apple introduced the iPhone. Google's Android ecosystem exploded. And suddenly, people didn't just want a phone that could make calls. They wanted a computer in their pocket. Nokia struggled to adapt quickly enough. Its software strategy became complicated, competition became aggressive, and consumers started moving toward iPhones and Android devices. Eventually, Nokia's phone business was sold to Microsoft. For many people, that looked like the end. But it wasn't. Years later, the Nokia name began appearing on phones again. This time, the strategy was different. Instead of trying to immediately defeat Apple or Samsung at the premium end of the market, Nokia focused heavily on affordable smartphones and the huge global demand for budget devices. And there was another important move. Nokia also brought back something people remembered. Feature phones. Devices that were simple, affordable, had long battery life, and were built for people who didn't need a giant app ecosystem. That helped revive the emotional connection with the brand. But nostalgia alone can't rebuild a technology empire. And Nokia had a much bigger problem. How do you compete in a market where consumers already have powerful alternatives? The answer isn't simply making another phone. Nokia's modern strategy is much broader. The Nokia brand is now closely associated with HMD Global, while the original Nokia Corporation focuses heavily on telecommunications infrastructure and network technology. And this is where the comeback becomes interesting. Because Nokia isn't trying to become the next Apple. Instead, it's trying to strengthen its position across different parts of the technology world. Its networking technology is used behind the scenes to help connect people, businesses, and entire countries. Meanwhile, Nokia-branded consumer devices continue targeting people who want affordable and practical technology. This creates a very different Nokia from the one that dominated the phone market 20 years ago. The old Nokia wanted to sell you the device. The new Nokia can also be part of the technology connecting that device to the world. And that could be its biggest advantage. But there's a problem. The smartphone market is brutally competitive. Apple controls the premium ecosystem. Samsung has an enormous global presence. Chinese manufacturers compete aggressively on price and specifications. So simply putting the Nokia logo on a phone isn't enough anymore. Consumers want better cameras, faster processors, longer software support, better displays. And most importantly, they want a reason to choose one phone over another. That's why Nokia's biggest challenge isn't rebuilding recognition. People already know Nokia. The real challenge is rebuilding relevance. Can Nokia become a brand that younger consumers actually want? Can it create products that compete with modern expectations? And can it turn decades of brand loyalty into something valuable in today's technology market? Nokia's story is no longer simply about a phone company trying to return to the top. It's about a technology giant trying to reinvent itself after losing the market it once dominated. The Nokia of 2005 is gone. But the Nokia brand isn't dead. It's rebuilding through networks, affordable technology, new devices, and one of the most powerful assets in business, recognition. The question is, will Nokia's comeback become one of technology's greatest second acts? Or will it remain a reminder of what happens when an industry moves faster than you do? Because Nokia already survived its biggest fall. Now, it's trying to prove it can survive the comeback, asterisk asterisk.